Did something important happen?
Yeah. So TNA is officially they found a home. They're going to AMC, as first reported by John Alba and with SI. It's an exciting time for them. They've announced that their first show on AMC will be a live show on Thursday, January 15th from Dallas, Texas. I have a hunch that this might possibly be the Genesis show, but I haven't been told officially. The reason I feel this way is because Genesis never had an official date or venue attached to it. Curtis Caldwell was always the feeling for me, and the 18th of January was always the feeling, but they never announced anything. And now that they're doing this live show, wouldn't be surprised if they call this the AMC Genesis show. And I don't know what that means for their pay-per-view. They haven't announced anything about what they're going to do with their pay-per-views or plus specials. They are working with AMC Plus. That is part of the deal as well. But TNA officially moving to AMC. The show is going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means I am going to have to ask Rogers Sportsnet what that means for us in Canada. Tape shows might still air at 8, but I don't know. And we're going to find out. Either way, the live shows, if they're live, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2-hour show. TNA is back, baby, I think.
AMC is in 60 million homes, which is a significant boost from access. And I've been complaining about the access for a long time. Like, I was a viewer of that channel 15 years ago when it was like HD Net, and I think ROH was on HD Net back in the day, and it aired a lot of MMA footage and MMA events and things like that. But over the years, it just felt like it got smaller and smaller and smaller and a little bit more diluted. But man, what a path that TNA has been on. They were on Fox Sports Net back in the day. They got syndicated all over the place. There was at one point, guys, you had to download like Real Player to stream TNA Impact.
They had torrents on their website. Yes. You could download the torrent.
You downloaded torrents to watch the latest AJ Styles match. Then they landed that big Spike TV deal that was their home for over 9 years. And then after that, it's been a little bit of everything else. It was Destination America. And at the time, Destination America looked like not a step up, but certainly a big step down, but it was something. They had Pop. They were the lead-in for Schitt's Creek before Schitt's Creek got popular. Like, Pop knew they had something, and it's wild to think that was their home for 3 years, which, that was a solid home, all things considered. Then things got bad. Then it was like the Pursuit channel, and I've told the story before about how I met a friend of mine who had a DIY hunting show, and I was like, oh, I cover a wrestling show on this hunting channel. You could probably get your show on there. And he said, dude, I am on that channel. And he was on like 2 hours after TNA. And they would be on the Fight Network and Twitch and stuff like that, and Access. And it has been, honestly, for the last like 7 years, not outwardly available or anything like that. They were on Access and TNA Plus. So if you wanted to pay to watch the show, you could do that. But now they are way more widely available than they have been in a long time. I mean, they tried Twitch as well to kind of open themselves up to a greater base, but this is just objectively great news for TNA Wrestling. It's great news for wrestling world. It's great news for the wrestling fans. I don't know the length of the deal or the money involved in that, but even if there were $0 involved in this, it would be a massive leap for TNA because they are more visible at this point. And again, I'm not saying there is no money involved, but if there was no money involved on a much bigger channel is certainly better than no money involved on Access. So very happy for TNA Wrestling. This is a great move for them.
Sean, do you know anything about what this means for the WWE TNA partnership? Because there was, and I don't know how credible, it's Blake Avignon.
He's got some good sources. He does have some good sources. I can't verify that element of it, but he is a legitimate journalist, and he does have some good sources. I mean, there were things that we were discussing, like maybe I want to say 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, this news is probably going to drop soon," and then it dropped the next day. So he does have some inside sources in that regard. But I'm working on it. I've put out some questions there for that one, and I'll see what I can dig up.
So what Blake reported, just to clarify everything, is he says sources also indicate WWE intends to end its NXT TNA partnership. Their agreement includes a 60-day termination clause, and the AMC deal activates that. I know there were a lot of reports as TNA were looking to sign the media rights deal of CW might have been involved, A&E might have been involved, and they already have partnerships with with WWE. They already aired WWE programming. AMC does not air WWE programming, and so again, from Blake's reports, it seems like that the partnership could end in the next 60 days or so.
So what you're saying is there's a good 2-week period where they can have all their wrestlers lose to NXT guys. There's still time. There's still time.
I mean,
Charlie,
look at what they're doing this Friday. It's basically another TNA versus NXT show, and it was just pulled together at the last second with the random.
But Joe, no, on the AMC platform, they'll have 2 whole weeks
Yes.
after this 60-day termination period before it kicks in.
Yeah, I'm sure WWE will continue to send the talent and have Charlie Dempsey taking an L here. It's gonna be great when Charlie Dempsey just wins the TNA title and then maybe drops it back, the week before this partnership ends.
Worth noting, in the press release, they also add on that they're going to be doing shows in Albuquerque as well on January 22 and 23, respectively.
Well,
look, if that doesn't have a Breaking Bad Better Call Saul theme, someone screwed up.
Exactly.
Someone's got to get fired over that.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You gotta do that. You absolutely have to do that.
You got the money. No, pay for Cranston. Pay for Aaron Paul. pay for all of them.
At least get Badger and Skinny Pete.
Yes. Yes.
Let's have Aaron Paul run and say magnets.
If you do not have them in a segment with the Rascals, what are you doing? Yes. Badger and Skinny Pete. Like, come on now.
100%.
That would be fantastic. But it's interesting. Also mentioning name dropping Gail Kim, Mickey James, Awesome Kong in the press release was interesting about their history as from the Knockouts division, but they were certainly this was a press release for non-wrestling people as well to be like, hey, I remember some of those names, but man, they ran down virtually everybody who is signed to a contract on that roster in the press release. But this is a very, very, very good move for TNA. This is objectively huge, and I'll let you guys know how many wrestling websites actively have a TNA post show
until Joel quits, because now they're on at 9 to 11, and that's too late for him.
Can't believe they ruined it by putting the show on at 9. I'm just going to talk to Rogers. I'm just going to be like, guys, keep the 8 o'clock. I'll do a live show once in a while, 11 o'clock. I'll do it. That's fine. But if those tape shows don't start at 8 o'clock, buddy, we're just going to paywall it on Thursdays.
Guys, get in your super chats and humper chats. I asked about the TNA NXT partnership, and someone just said that's still in play. Now, to me, that is a very strategic thing to say, because I always look at things like, okay, so are you saying it's in play for 60 days? So we'll see. I'll dig into it. Speaking of something kind of related, it looks like the Peacock, the library for WWE content, will be up at the end of the year. I'm working on just asking a lot of people about that. I've been asking about that forever. Guys, there's no other way I can tell you this. WWE doesn't have a lot of answers as to when Raw episodes will be on Netflix or all of that, because they don't know. They do not know. There's very little coordination going there. They were supposed to go on Netflix and all that, but Man, this is yet another platform, another significant platform of which has pro wrestling content with AMC. It's spread out a little bit. Like there's really almost no way to not watch pro wrestling at this point. Like there's no matter what service you have the ability to watch things. But this is a good one for TNA. I mean, if we would have gotten here and then the announcement would have been, well, they're actually just on AMC Plus, which is a thing John Alba and I had discussed. Shout out to John Alba, who worked on this story for, quite frankly, like just nonstop for the last number of weeks. But that's the thing that we were discussing when he brought this to my attention a couple of weeks ago. I had not heard of AMC being in play. He had from the time he did that first story. I was like, if it ends up just being AMC Plus, that's not a win. But if it's on just AMC at all, that's big. That's big for TNA as well. So this is incredible, man. I know that TNA's fans got to be happy. TNA's fans are very, very loyal and have been through the worst of times, quite frankly. And here we are. Gosh, it has been 11 years since TNA was on Spike. And this feels like their biggest platform since then. So good for them.
Oh, shots fired at YouTube, I guess.
Okay.
And Twitch.
Right, Twitch.
Well, listen. What we're gonna sit. I had people in 2019 saying, "Oh, YouTube nuked your account. What? Go into Twitch. It's such a huge platform." No, it's not. I hate to tell you guys. No, for the casual, normal viewer, no, it's not. They're not booting up their TV, going to the Twitch app, typing in TNA Impact. They're not. I don't know what else to say. They're just not doing that. The traditional cable still has the stranglehold on accessibility, except in some cases. Like obviously, if you want to stream to YouTube, that can reach quite a few people as well. Netflix is always going to have a big part of change the game. But outside of that, it is traditional cable. And while access was on traditional cable, it was on very, very limited traditional cable. And I've always made the joke, like, I don't know how TNA makes money because the only thing I see commercials for are Sammy Hagar concerts that air on Access TV. Man.
I hope Sammy Hagar opens the first episode of TNA. Just in the ring, playing his guitar. They've never done that before, right?
They'll do it from Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, they will.
That's what they'll do. My God. All right, guys, I'm out of here.
Enjoy your day, Sean.
See you guys.
I guess.
Do you have anything to add, Joel?
No, you know what? This is. I'm glad for TNA. I am. This is a deal that's been talked about for, God, since Slammiversary. It was all through the summer, and everyone was waiting for something. And it's nice to finally see it come to fruition. And again, kudos to John Alba, who did a lot of the legwork to get this news. He did. Yeah, you got to give it to him. Under no circumstances do you have to give it to him, but in this case, you should probably give it to John Alba. And you know what? It's excitement for a TNA fan. Again, I hate the fact that it starts at 9 p.m. I think it's asinine.
I saw that and laughed. I was like, Joel's mad.
I was mad. What that means for a post show, I mean, I'll probably keep doing it. But again, this is the larger conversation now is creative. They got the deal. Now they have to work on their creative because that is something that has been sorely lacking in TNA. And this might give them a kick in the pants, but it could also be detrimental. They could say, we did it. We crossed the goal line and, it took us X amount of days and now we're creatively tired. And I don't know what the deal is for that, but it does need to be a major focus for TNA in 2026. They have the deal. Now they can focus on the creative and making sure that the wrestlers are not only compensated financially, but also compensated creatively. Those are the two big things for them moving forward.
Yeah, look, it's a good deal. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's not. Like they were on Access. If you got that channel, they put shows up on YouTube. It was on TNA Plus. Like there were multi ways to watch this show, but there are multi ways to watch a lot of wrestling. It's all about ease of access when it comes to these things, and what you're paying for. Because some people just didn't want to pay $10 a month for TNA Plus. People didn't want to pay that. People don't have access. AMC, if you have effectively premium cable, then you most likely have AMC. I know Sean mentioned that it was like in 60 million homes, way more than in access and everything. So it's a very good deal for TNA. I hope it means more for their wrestlers. I hope it means, more consistent schedules. I hope it means more money for them. And creatively, now you got to do something with it because the creative ain't been all that great this year. It's been bad this year. Too much stop and start stuff, too much non-committal stuff, too much WWE partnership getting in the way. But now if the WWE partnership ends, I don't know where they're going with things because that's what they built their entire year off of. That's what they built their entire year of doing things with. They had the title on a WWE talent for the majority of the year. Both their titles, in fact, were on a WWE talent for the majority of the year. You've lost Joe Hendry, and say what you will about Joe Hendry, he was still promoted as one of your top stars over the past year. Leon Slater is more on NXT right now than he is on TNA. They've gotten a good look at Mike Santana when it comes to this stuff. I don't know what that means for the company moving forward. At least when WWE and them were partners, WWE was going to play nice. Now that they potentially are not partners, I'm not saying they're going to view TNA as big competition like they view AEW, but I also think that it's like, well, we can just get them if we want them. We don't now, we had incentive for them to stay there because we could just use them whenever we want them and it was fine. Now it's like, well, why don't we just take them for us because we're not partners with you anymore. Like, it's a very good thing for TNA, but it could also, it's going to potentially hurt the overall playing field when it comes to creative and talent in the realm of TNA moving forward.
And chat's talking about retaining talent and everything. And I'll throw to you in a minute, SB3, and I'll put it like this: it's those two things that we just talked about. And I know it's a running joke with JR, right? Cash and creative, and it is because at this point they need to show, yeah, we've got the money now, but creatively, if you're not satisfied or you feel like you're being cast aside for NXT talent, for example, then I can see someone like Santana at the end of his deal being like, well, screw you guys, I'm out. There's going to be, I'll put it like this: everyone that I'm seeing on who works at TNA that I have on socials, they're they're hyped and they're not doing like the just putting the whatever TNA asked them to put up on their socials. Like they're actually putting out their own words. They're excited for this, which is great. Now the excitement has to come across in the work that they're doing and the creative that they're given. So I don't know who stays and who goes, but I also know that if there's more money and people want to sign and stay there, that's up to them. Whether they get a bigger deal from WWE, that also is another question, because we know how much people can make at NXT. Those numbers have been coming out more than ever, and whether or not that aligns with what TNA would offer. And again, TNA only runs 2 to 3 times a month versus NXT, which is running constantly between PC and shows and PLEs and opportunities to go work main roster. It's a different grind regardless of where you want to go. So that's other parts of the conversation that come with it. Go ahead, SB3.
I've set my record for the longest time. I didn't talk on one show.
I tried to throw to you. You had your mic muted.
Almost 21 minutes. No, it's because my headphones are not working. So it was doing that squiggly line for me. I didn't even hear you give it over to me. But anyway, as far as this deal, I'm very happy for TNA. TNA has to be one of the most remarkable stories in the history of wrestling. Most companies, if you get thrown off of like a major cable network, that's pretty much the end of the line. That's like anything that I've seen before TNA, that's pretty much the end of most of these companies when they are taken off of their big money drawing partnership that they have with like a cable network. And the fact that they were able to survive 11 years, 2 name changes, different regime changes from Dixie Carter to Billy Corgan to Global Force Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett coming back to Scott D'Amore and Don Callis to Scott D'Amore by himself, Anthem being involved throughout all of that, the controversy they had with the Hardys back in 2017 to the Hardys coming back in 2014. This is a documentary just waiting to happen. Just the 11-year period of leaving Spike TV to coming on AMC, it's fascinating and remarkable to see where TNA is. So for all the bad that I can say about TNA, because unlike many of the people that I've seen online that are happy for TNA, I actually watch this product weekly. So I probably feel a little bit differently where I'm like, this is a great opportunity. I'm happy for it because it's great for wrestling. It's great for wrestling in general to have all 5 weekdays. You have something on cable network, cable or network television for you to consume, or streaming service for you to consume from professional wrestling, whether it be WWE, whether it be AEW, whether it be TNA. I think that's great for wrestling overall. And it makes TNA a viable third option in wrestling, number 3 promotion, because I don't understand why TNA is not happy to be called a third promotion, because they weren't even that before. The fact that they keep trying to be number 2 promotion, I think it's great for competition wise, all fine and dandy, but I would like them to kind of just settle and be like, no, we're number 3 right now, we're going for number 2. And I hope that's the mindset that they have going in. I hope they don't think that because they have the TV deal now, all the work is done. We don't need to improve on anything. We're all good. We got here. We got this far. The WWE partnership, the Hardys, Joe Hendry, they got us here. But I don't see like the things that I just named. I don't see them being a part of TNA in like a year. So AMC is probably buying something that you're not going to be after some time. So I hope that they take the time to work on everything, logistics wise, production wise, because you talked about creative, but their production is awful. So I hope it improves with the AMC and this money being given in. And talking about talent, I would assume that this is a money deal, so they should have more money to bid on these talents. Like Joel said, NXT talents are not getting paid the world. Like there's the guys like Ricky Stanks and Blake Monroe who came over from AEW who are making like close to main roster money, but the average person in NXT is not making boatloads of money here. So you can make an offer that will convince somebody to stay with you, or you can convince somebody on the independent scene to come to TNA, make a name for themselves before they get a bigger opportunity with one of the top 2 promotions. I think that TNA needs to kind of change their mindset all across the board. And I like the fact that this report came out that they're no longer working with WWE, because to me, as far as like perception wise, it makes it look that this whole time we've been saying TNA is the cuckold, and that they're just sitting in the cuckold chair while WWE is doing all this. But in actuality, they were the husband that was getting paid. They were getting paid. The husband was getting paid for their wife to get pounded.
I'm not there yet.
They got something in exchange for this deal. This is awesome.
I ain't there yet. You know why? Because this is WWE being like, look at us. We did something nice. We were good big brothers. We helped you. We did something nice for the wrestling world. Now our deal can lapse and we can move on. Multi-year deal is done. And then in a year, nothing's going to stop them from like, LOL, 30 million. We own TNA and all of its talent. Not that they need to do that, but it takes away it doesn't take away any, but it takes away some of the heat from an antitrust case. And that's really what it comes down to. But I see like John Alba is saying that, you know, the situation with the partnership ending might not be as true. But also, if people are saying that it could happen, but it's not happening now, Blake is still saying 60 days. So now is not 60 days from now. That question comes up again in 60 days. We're either going to be like, all right, so they decided to re-up, or it was true and 60 days later is when things ended. But they're not gonna immediately open up themselves to this type of scrutiny, being like, yeah, we signed a deal, by the way, LOL FWWE, we're out. They can't do that. So anything that you hear between now and the end of January is just like, don't even think about it. Like nothing's official, nothing's out there. So there's talk, but nothing's going to be out there until you see it. Get ready for TNA Genesis cable television.
So are they gonna do Santana winning back the TNA World Title for the
Almost certainly, yes.
AMC premiere? I would hope so.
Almost certainly at this point. They're gonna do a build in El Paso at the TV tapings with Kazarian. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they've got Final Resolution on Friday, and then they're gonna tape on Saturday, Sunday, and they're doing it like an afternoon taping on the Sunday. Either way, there's an afternoon taping for TV. I don't know if they're there on Sunday, are they? They're there 3 days, right, Jeremy?
Where?
In El Paso for TNA. Are they 3 days or 2 days?
I don't know
Do you remember?
TNA's schedule.
I don't know. I usually keep up with that, but let me take a look real quick. They're there. Yeah, all 3 days. So they've got they're doing a 7 p.m. on Saturday and then 2 p.m. So they're doing a matinee on the 7th, and they're like bring the family type of mentality. That's going to take them all of those tapings will take them all the way to the live show for AMC, which again I'm assuming they're going to call it Genesis because they're running it at Curtis Caldwell. They're running it in an arena. They want this to be a big deal that they're coming to AMC. It's going to be on free TV. It's cable, so you're not spending $40 on Triller or wherever to watch the show. So I feel like because it's Genesis as a name brand, they're going to use this as the first Thursday Night Impact. Genesis, and that'll be Santana, Kazarian, whatever it is, the recrowning of Santana.
That makes sense. That's the number one thing they need to do creatively. As well, they need to, if they are getting an influx of money, they need to sign some female talent because their knockouts division has been poor since Jordan Grace left the company. So I hope they can sign some female talent, shore up their tag team division. They just have to get things in order where it's not so, oh, we're relying on WWE talent to come in here and invade and fill out a pay-per-view card. That's what TNA is kind of at, especially with Final Resolution on Friday. It's a lot of WWE, NXT, lower card people. And that's the thing with what I think they need to improve their knockouts division, because their knockouts division is just lower card people that were in WWE a couple of years ago. That's literally that person was in WWE, did not get a push. That person was in WWE, did not get a push. That person was in NXT, did not get a push. They need to get some young female talent, whether it's Alina Cross, whether it's on the independent scene, whether it's from Mexico or Japan. They need to do something for that knockouts division, for the men's division as well. But the knockouts division seems like the more glaring issue to me.
I thought you had your hand up, Jeremy, like you were about to say something.
Oh no, sorry. I'm trying to correct misinformation out here. I apologize.
That's okay. I just saw one of your tweets, so.
Yeah, they're saying John Cena is being advertised for Raw after WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and people who don't know dates see Monday, April 21st, which technically true, but because because WrestleMania is in Las Vegas once again this year, people are easily going to fool other people into, well, look what they're advertising. It's Las Vegas. It's all the same. Raw after WrestleMania 42 is Monday, April 20th. So if you see any branding of Monday, April 21st and advertisements for Raw, that is stuff from last year. This past year, Raw, and people are trying to fool other people. So yeah, I'm just trying to correct misinformation out here. That's all. Sorry.
People are going to be so baked on that Raw episode.
Yeah.
It's
that's fine.
A great day in Las Vegas if you're going to be there for Raw after Mania. Yeah. It's either going to be, oh, we're so stoned because Mania sucked, or Mania was so good. It's going to be no in between. Anyway, yeah, the TNA side of things, nothing changes in terms of how they produce the shows. I think, like SP3 was saying, production and the post-production, absolutely they need to fix it. There's no other word to put it. It's not well edited, it's not well produced. They have a lot of production issues to fix. It's not going to change currently the way that they produce television, where they come in, do a live show, and then tape for a night or two, depending on what leads to the next event. Could they go live every week somewhere in the future? If they catch fire and they're selling out houses, or at least they're finding their footing, and that's a thing that they have the money to do, is go live week after week after week, there's a huge incentive to do it. But immediately, no, it's not in the cards, especially because they already told you they're going to do the live show and then they're going to go tape in Albuquerque afterwards for what will be, I guess, 4 weeks of tapings. I don't know what happens to pay-per-view. Like I said at the top of the show, I don't know what happens to the Plus specials. They're now working with AMC Plus to air Thursday Night Impact. If there's somewhere in the deal where they're going to start doing specials on Plus, then that's something they could offer. I don't know what happens to TNA Plus, because that was, it wasn't a money maker. Well, it was, but it wasn't a huge money maker for them. It was something that they wanted to put more emphasis behind. And then I guess once the TV deal conversation started, they pulled back, and you started noticeably seeing that. As a result, I don't know what happens to TNA Plus moving forward. It could just be where they hide the library and where they put the library and host it, and you can pay for that. But again, everything's up in the air for that. It's right now, a bigger deal is that they're going to be on AMC moving forward weekly, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I am mad about the timing, but I'll figure it out. Damn it.
Will this make TNA profitable? That's what we really need to discuss.
Hypothetically, yes, but it won't take. It will take some time. There's the number being bandied about right now by Blake Avignon was, I think, $30 million on a multi-year deal. Yeah. Whether or not that's true, we don't know.
That's awesome. They got a better deal than CW did.
But that's the thing. We don't know how many years, and that's $30 million over that time. So the question becomes: is it really beneficial? Maybe that was $30 million over 10 years, and I don't know why AMC
signed a 10-year deal.
I don't know why. But if they
what happened there?
If they signed,
why would you sign a 10-year deal with TNA?
If they signed 3 years at 30, then that's right on the money of the high end of what Carlos Silva expected, which was up to 10 million, which is hilarious because we all sat here, and maybe the egg's on our face, where we're just like, you played your cards right away. Maybe they found the value, and AMC was like, we need this, so let's pay for it. But it could also be, a 4-year deal, at which point that brings the number down to whatever it was 6.67.
It's still,
I suspect it's like a 4 and an option. That's usually how these.
Yeah, there could be that. It could be a scale deal too.
It's still, the NXT CW deal was 5 years for, I think 20 to 25 annually. So yeah, they're not doing 30 million annually.
No.
So yeah, I think the NXT CW deal is going to end up being better, unless it's a 1-year deal, but it says multi-year. So regardless, no matter what the deal is, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years, yeah, the NXT CW deal is better than the TNA AMC deal. But hey, 30 million, let's say it's 3 years, 10 million a year. That's still good, and
it's more than they were making before.
Yeah,
because if TNA Plus was making them 2, and let's say Access was paying them 3, that's still a total of 5 per year. They're potentially having doubled that. And if TNA Plus is still in play, then you can still make money on that. Yeah, there's room. There's room to be profitable for the first time in their entire lifespan. It's been 23 years, and Carlos even said it. We've never been profitable. They've never been profitable. This could be this opportunity to make money. They have a lot of work to do beyond just announcing here we are to make that organization profitable.
Yeah, now just put it to good use, take care of the talent that has been there, bring in some potentially new talent, increase your production.
For Christ's sake.
What's up?
Get some good sponsors for Christ's sake.
Oh, yeah.
A-Game Hydration, because they wanted their prime little brother. They've got their infrared light, whatever, the BioFlex.
Yeah, BioFlex medical report.
Yeah, the injury report.
You know who's a great sponsor, Joel?
Go ahead. I think they are wonderful sponsors.
That's my setup for this. If you want a great sponsor, check out Aura Frames. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. Get $30 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named number 1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. Aura Frames, AURA frames.com, promo code FIGHTFUL. The deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours, get it in time for the holidays, support the show, mention us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. If you don't know what Aura Frames are, what they are you can upload unlimited photos and video. Just download the Aura app, connect to the Wi-Fi, get it all in your sweet little Aura frames there. And you can also put preloaded photos on it before it ships. You can continue to add to it. So no matter where you're at, if you're on a vacation and you want to take a photo, you can upload it there. If you're just out visiting family for the holidays and you want to put photos on there, you can do it there. You can always add to your Aura frames, and that is auraframes.com, AURA frames.com. $30 off with the code FIGHTFUL. They are a great sponsor, unlike the TNA sponsors out there.
You know what? I have an idea. If you've got that frenemy at work, maybe that work person that you get along with, but like you're not really friends with because you just don't like them, you get them an Aura frame. Okay, use that code FIGHTFUL, and then while you go on your wonderful winter vacation, during that time off, you taking the most beautiful photos in the world, and you know what you do? That friend that you just gifted that Aura frame to, you upload all those beautiful sun-filled photos that you are enjoying while your friend is stuck at home in the cold and like, I hate being here. You're not even a friend, that coworker, whoever it is, they're seeing your beautiful time away, wonderful sunsets on the coast, whatever it is, they see it because you were a good friend, got them an Aura frame, and you got petty revenge by posting those photos on their Aura frame, and they can't do anything about it.
They can get an Aura frame and gift that to you and do the same thing to you is what they should end up doing over here. And they will use the code FIGHTFUL as well to get $35 off.
This is perfect. We're Aura frame farming while we're here.
We're Aura framing all of our enemies out here. You gotta out Aura frame your own enemy out here is what you're gonna do.
Perfect. So go ahead, go over to auraframes.com/Fightful. Get them for the holidays. Get them for whoever, for whenever. But remember, you could be petty, or you could just be the best person in that person's life. Aura Frames.
Did not know we had ad reads now.
Every day in December, SP3. Thankfully, Joel does them when I'm not here because Joel's much better at them.
No,
I wasn't thrilled with it. I don't have a ton of ad read experience. I'll get better as the days go on out here, but I'm much happier on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when Joel has to do the reads and I don't.
Hey, I'll give it to you. It's better than some of these comments in the chat. When was TNA cooking? When was TNA cooking? And it's arguable that led to WWE adjusting from Cena only. TNA was cooking or good in the mid-2000s at the height of Cena only in WWE. And the only thing that changed them from that was Cena getting injured, not TNA cooking. What? Why are you putting revisionist history in our chat? We don't need that. How dare you? We don't need that.
I think that TNA is always cooking. What they're cooking, I don't know.
Something bad.
But anybody can cook SB3. It might not be good.
No, I'm just kidding.
It might not be good cooking, but anybody can cook, you know?
Yeah. Boggs is the one who commented. He said, I don't know why he's using that language, but he said TNA was up to around 1.2 through 1.3. That's end of 2000s. Cena is still the top star. What are you talking about? They didn't adjust anything in WWE. Cena's still the top star. He's in the world title matchup for every one of those WrestleManias at the end of the 2000s. What are you talking about?
If Chris Jericho had gone to TNA, it would have been a game changer at the time.
He can still do it.
I mean, technically, yeah. Do you imagine if that's where he ends up? He ends up in TNA for the debut show. Everyone thinks he's going to be in WWE. Nah, he's going to show up to TNA. That would actually rule. I would cackle if that happened. His last run There's going to be matches against Frankie Kazarian
Let's go.
and Nick Nemeth
And AJ Francis? Hell yeah.
AJ Francis, yeah. Trying to think who else. I don't know their roster well enough. No, I'm not talking about the young people. He's not facing Santana and Slater.
He's gonna get that Leon Slater match where everyone's like, no. He's gonna have that one bad match against someone like, I don't know, Jason Hodge, and they're gonna be like, oh,
man.
Hometown man. But it's gonna be such a bad match where he botches something, and everyone's like, oh, it's over for Jericho. He's washed. And then all of a sudden he'll have like a banger against Leon Slater, just like he did in AEW when he had the Bandito match, where everyone was like, oh, Jericho's back. That's gonna be Jericho's run in TNA.
He's gonna do a concert with Elijah. Can you imagine? Oh, Elijah playing acoustic, Jericho singing, acoustic Judas. Oh, that's what we need out here. We need the acoustic version of Judas.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
The Hardys. He's definitely gonna do something with the Hardys. They should bring back Aces and Eights just to do something with all of them. I'm all for this.
Aces and Jericho. But it's just Ace Austin coming back to work with Chris Jericho.
Ace Austin's under contract, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Not by the time Chris Jericho comes back. Who knows?
Yeah. Tommy Dreamer is going to be on screen again.
Yeah.
So he can work with Jericho.
He was just on screen recently. So it's not like you don't see Tommy Dreamer. It's going to be...
TNA, the number 2 promotion, baby. They finally got the TV deal. Let's go.
Let's go. Number 2.
Hopefully they're going to be cooking like the end of the 2000s.
Hey man, those 1.2 and 1.3 ratings, those were big. Like they had the debut on Spike when they went head to head with Mondays, and people were really happy because they went over 1 million on that one. And it's like, yeah, good for them. But at no point were they ever in contention to beat WWE in a ratings battle. Like there may have been
that attitude.
No, definitely not with that attitude. That's why they didn't win. Like, did TNA have some stories that maybe rivaled WWE at the time? Sure, why not? At any point, a wrestling company can have a better story in a subjective art form than a different company that might be on top. That's fine. But to say from a business standpoint that TNA was ever cooking and that they were making the most money they were making was probably around that time. But this now stands to be the time where they actually do make some money.
To say that they made WWE adjust anything when WWE did not acknowledge them, when Cena, and to say they adjust from Cena only because of TNA, no, they didn't. It's because he got injured in 2007. He was on a 380-day WWE Championship run. I just ranked every single one of his title reigns, so that's the only reason I know all of that off the top of my head. He had a 380-day reign, then gets injured in 2000 in the midst of TNA cooking, as you say. That's the reason why they went away from Cena being the main guy only. But he's still, when he comes back, he's still featured as a top guy and the number 1 guy in the company. So your point, you didn't make a point. You just said something that sounded good to you. And I corrected you, and I'm telling you that's not what actually happened, and that's revisiting his history, and now you're upset, and now you're saying all types of names and saying language. You're lucky that I don't feel like just blocking you, honestly.
You know what? The only thing that WWE was forced to do when it came to TNA was counter program that first episode of Impact on Spike. And do you remember what they did? They brought you HBK and Bret Hart in the same ring for the first time in what it was like almost 20 years. And that did a huge number for WWE. And meanwhile, like TNA, that first Impact wasn't very good, but the first Impact that they aired on Spiker that countered WWE, it wasn't very good, but it had all eyes on it because it was a big hyped Monday Night War, and they just didn't capitalize. But it did. That's the only time WWE's hand was really. I don't even want to use the word forced, but possibly moved a little bit to try something to supplement TNA's or suppress TNA's show. That's it. Yeah. And now they're on Thursdays, and there's no one else running on Thursdays, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why WWE's truly ending the deal. Like, we told you to get Wednesdays. What the fuck do you mean you still on Thursdays?
We gotta keep this evolved shit going.
You had one goal, one mission out here. You were supposed to get a deal for Wednesday. The moment we saw Thursday, done.
Even
no
if
longer working
Wednesday
with
and it was 9 p.m., they would have been pissed, dude. It's like, you're not going head to, you're only going head to head with 1 hour?
We tried this already. It didn't work.
That hour doesn't already get ratings. What does it matter?
Carlos is going to be sat down by what's his face, by Bryan Cranston in character and be like, I am the one who tells you WWE is moving on from your business. That's it. And Carlos will be like, oh, thank you. That was really nice.
They're not even going head to head with ROH. Like ROH is over by 9 most times. They don't do 2-hour shows anymore, I don't think.
ROH doesn't even air on their normal times these days.
Yeah.
Black Fridays,
Yeah.
Cyber Tuesdays, like whatever. We got a show on Tuesday. Let's go. There's plenty more over on Fightful Overbooked. Click that subscribe button, tap that bell, get your notifications. And while you're at it, like the videos. Interact with them. Say some stuff. We want to hear from you. While you're at it, join us every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live for In the Weeds. You might like it.